Hey, welcome to the Withering effect. This is episode 22, and today is the 10th of November. I'm Bankaardappel, but everyone calls me Bank.
And I am DuDs, or Duds Versus, known to the rest of the internet. Today we're going to talk about some Minecraft, but first, let's all remember that Bank almost screwed that intro up.
Yeah, I did. I forgot to change last week's sentence.
What have you been up to, Bank?
It's alright, though. Well, I mostly celebrated my birthday a bunch. With a bigger family, you gotta, spread it out, so not everyone can be there at the same day.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. And for the rest, I don't know, I just watched Pirates of the Caribbean, the series, the whole thing, with my girlfriend through the week. And that's about it. Had a little bit of a lazy
I was going to say, it sounds like a lazy week.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of nice, though.
Yeah.
And what about you? What have you been up to?
For the most part, during the week, my day-to-day, I've been reading the Witcher book.
Oh,
and really getting into that thing.
Yeah, you told about that in stream as well.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, I had my streams on Friday that I've been doing. I played around with that, was it Chunky program for Minecraft?
I'm not
it's like a 3D rendering of your Minecraft world.
Okay.
I really wanted to get a 3D render of last season's base.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work. Basically, the chunks that were the island that we were on in Comicraft.
Yeah.
Black, blank, whatever it was. They
were far out. That might
No. I could get to the chunks, and then the chunks around it. You remember if you went south to that snow biome that was just a couple hundred blocks away?
Yeah.
That rendered in just fine.
Okay.
But basically everything we had built was all kinds of messed up. And after...
That's strange.
Yeah, and I spent hours messing with it, trying to get it to work, and it didn't. So I was a little disappointed. If somebody can try to help me and tell me what I'm doing wrong in Chunky, I'm using the most up-to-date version, the one that says, hey, you can use this for Minecraft 13 point something plus, and my worlds are in 1.14, so that's plus 1.14 or whatever. Anyways, so it didn't work out. It felt like I wasted half a day, but I would love to see the program work because I think it could do some really cool stuff, and I think especially my base this season would look really cool being rendered like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, in stream we worked on that villager trading room. I went ahead and put villagers in the villager trading room and played around with the new 1.14 mechanics. I like them. I like them a lot.
Yeah, I liked how the new villagers work.
Mm-hmm. Super simple.
Also, I'm curious for that Chunky program. I've not heard of that, so I'm kind of curious. But a 3D rendering of your world, that sounds interesting.
It looks very cool. I'll send you a link after this. Maybe we can get Carl to put a link in the show notes too for anyone else who's interested in it. But
I'm curious for it. It sounds like similar to Replay Mod, but different.
Yes.
That sounds
like Chunky does the high resolution 3D renders or whatever. Basically, kind of Google Map-ish. But yeah. So I was like, oh man, that would look really cool. Blah blah. Nope. Definitely not. Didn't work.
I remember having a lot of issues with Replay Mod as well, getting it started. But it was worth all the effort in the end.
Well, see, for the most part, I was like, it's got to be me. I'm the idiot here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing something wrong. And then after 6 hours, it was, no, this stupid program's the idiot. What? Stupid. And I just quit. But more than likely, I'm doing something wrong. But I could get other chunks to load just fine. Mm-hmm. It was just the chunks where we played 90% of the game. Did not work.
Was it like a fresh world download? Maybe you had downloaded it before and those chunks were updated to a newer version. That might have caused issues.
Maybe it can't handle 1.14 even though it says 1.13 plus.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that could be it.
So maybe I should just go to the website and download an old version of the map and try again without updating it. Yeah, that could work. Who knows?
I don't know. I guess I'll see at some point if it worked out.
No, I want to try tonight. Thanks, Bank.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And if you guys hear something in the background, that's Swabby coming home.
Well, welcome home.
I'll try to edit as much of that out as I can. So, I guess let's go on to the news.
Yeah? You had done some research on it? Or, well, looked it up, I guess.
Yeah, so we had a new snapshot this week, 19W45A. Not a ton of stuff with it. Basically, bees would get lost searching for hives or whatever. So they've expanded it from, I think it was like 5 blocks to now 10 blocks. And if a hive gets destroyed, they can go find a new hive.
I didn't know too much about bees. I always like to sort of keep it fresh for when the actual update's there. So I didn't know about them getting lost and stuff. But sure.
Yeah. I didn't either. Also, if like you shear a hive or whatever, you collect honey, whether it be the bottles or shearing it or whatever, the bees used to come out all angry like and attack you. Now they don't, I think. It's from Exuma's video.
Oh, that sounds nice.
The other updates that came with this were the composters. The crafting recipe has changed, so it matches the bedrock version, so you can craft it with wooden slabs now.
Oh, I think before it was planks and then one wooden slab.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I like that. Makes it more simple.
I do too. There was some changed textures and that kind of stuff. Basically, the rendering engine is still a work in progress, so a lot of stuff's getting fixed.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
But other than that, it was still a small, simple update. There was a bunch of like little bugs, but I didn't feel it was worth us to go through a list of like 40-something bugs that got fixed just to say such and such fixed, such and such fixed. If you guys are curious, the notes for the snapshots are on Minecraft's main website, so...
It just sounds like they're getting close, because the snapshots don't do that much lately anymore. It seems.
Well, they made mention during Minecon that 1.15 was going to be out by end of year.
Exactly.
So.
I think they'll... I mean, it sounds like they might be getting there.
I'm really curious to see how this new rendering engine works. I'm wondering if it's going to still be CPU heavy compared to other games that require a lot out of your GPU and less out of your CPU.
I just hope the game runs better.
I do too. It would be really nice not to depend on Optifine, but we all know we're still going to use it just for the zoom key.
Well, I mean, any increase is nice, right? If you just... Even, like, my game kind of runs fine, but I'd like to have a, like, bigger viewing distance and that kind of stuff.
Well, we noticed, like...
If it all gets easier, that would be
when
nice.
I was streaming, I had frame drops all the way to the 60s for some reason.
Yeah, I remember that. I had the same issue.
I wasn't sure about that. I thought it was because I was streaming, because I'm streaming and playing the game from the same PC. But if you were still having that problem too, then I don't know what was going on.
I mean, I didn't notice it until I looked at the frames, so it wasn't really anything visible, but I did notice my frames were lower than normally.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for the Minecraft news. Shall we move on?
Yeah. We have a Discord. It's a great place to hang out with fellow Withering Effect members, talk about the episodes, and we sometimes ask questions to what you guys think for a new topic. Yeah, it's just a great way to get in contact with us and other people. Join the Discord. Links in the show notes.
Yeah. Talking about comments from people who listen, we have an email from Frankly Squirrel. Nice. This is about last episode where we talked about an update to the end.
Yeah, I remember that.
Good job. It was less than a week ago.
Exactly.
Okay, so their email states, imagine, if you will, a void squid. I'm liking this so far. A bioluminescent, like the deep sea fish that glow. Squid that swims, quotation marks here, because it is the void, swims through the void, like an overworld squid swims through the ocean. Slightly larger, but still a passive mob that drops bioluminescent ink sacs that can be used to dye.
That's a great idea.
Well, hang on. There's more to the comment, but the way Carl put it in here, it didn't put everything in the box. Okay. So I'm blaming Carl. Okay.
I mean, so far I'm really liking it.
Yeah, okay, let me catch up to it. So it would dyeable blocks. Okay, I'm good with that. To give off a faint glow. So I guess you could create light blocks out of stuff that's not light blocks. So
Yeah,
like
I
wool
guess.
could be considered a light block. That could be cool. Maybe a light level 4 or 5. So it wouldn't be enough to stop mobs spawning, but it would be enough to give cool looking light effect.
Yeah, that would be awesome to create like ambiances and stuff.
Yeah, he mentions it would be another thing to farm in the end. I realize, but it would also be a cool ambiance and light source with a bit of diversity to it. Really enjoy getting withered with you guys. Thanks for the great content. Frank the Squirrel, thank you for your comment. I agree with the bioluminescent squid.
I really like the like squid swimming through the sky idea.
Even if it,
I just picture it. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, even if it didn't drop any kind of useful drops, like they're saying for light blocks or anything like that. Even if it was just a mob that just swam around in the void that glowed, that's cool. It's another reason to visit the end.
Yeah, that would make it a. I don't know. I think that would look really awesome.
I dig it. Maybe it could drop something that you could use to put on a beacon that would have the beacon effect work, but not put that stupid ugly laser beam all the way up through the sky.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice. I don't always like the beam.
I don't either. But even if we use that to make kind of accent lighting blocks, I'd be cool with it.
Mm-hmm. I like the just creating an ambience.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I do that with redstone torches every once in a while.
Oh yeah,
they do.
I've never tried it with redstone torches. I should try that.
Good idea. In your favorite ender chest, they also put out little light levels too.
That's true, but placing an ender chest is, I don't know, it's not the prettiest block.
It's really not.
It doesn't match everywhere.
Yeah. I usually hide it under carpets.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good idea.
But I turn my particles down so you can't see it under the carpet either.
Oh, yeah, I do have them on always, which might, I don't know. I'll try and think of those things a little bit more. I haven't thought of that too much.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry. My nose is decided to run as soon as we started recording, so I'm going to hopefully cut all the sniffles you hear out. If not, I'm sorry, and I'm just going to blame Carl.
I mean, it's winter time. Those things are going to happen.
Yeah. Well, see, I went and I played football today. So I was outside for 2-3 hours today.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll get you a runny nose, I guess.
A little bit. But that was hours ago. I shouldn't still have a runny nose.
I guess that also means that you're fully healed with the... I don't know what the muscle's called
the
again.
Glute.
That's
I am fully healed. A funny story. So, along with tearing my glute, I ended up pulling my right groin. That healed faster than the glute. But Friday at work, I was moving a bunch of inventory around, and I had to pull something off the bottom shelf to lift it up and carry it to weigh it. And when I lifted it up and turned, my left groin went pop. And I went, ouch. Son of a really bad word, really loud.
I think that's justified.
Yeah. So that was for the rest of the day. But luckily, I didn't take all my pain medications because I'm not a fan of pain medications. So I had a lot of it left over. And basically Friday night, when it didn't heal on its own, Saturday, I took some meds. And I woke up today 100% fine. So, yay.
Sweet.
So let's stop ranting about my crotch area. Because that seems to be a hot topic lately.
Like a good idea. I mean, you got an accident, or not an accident, but an injury.
Yeah.
We talked about it. Yeah.
Should we move on to the real topic of discussion instead of my groin?
I think that's a better idea.
So for this week, we decided a lot of weeks we end up trying to improve this game or bash it for dumb ideas. But it really is a game we love. Bank, you can easily say Minecraft's your favorite game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. It's a game we love the most. So today, instead of bashing it, we're trying to improve it. We're going to do a top 10 list of things we love about Minecraft, right?
I think, yeah. I was gonna say, I think you did them in order. For me, it's I don't know. I don't think I could number them.
Okay, so
in
my
order.
top 10
There's
list
just so
is in
many things
order.
that make it good, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
My top 10 list is in order. Banks is just banked.
Pretty much.
All right, so I'll read mine off in order, and then you tell me which, if you have one that matches close to it, or what you had in that point. Good?
Yeah. That sounds like a good idea.
All right, so for my number 10, I said you could play the game your way. So if you like to play in survival, you could play in survival. If you like to build, but you weren't so much into, getting blown up by creepers, you could play in creative mode. Maybe you don't like to build, but you like to kind of PvP or figure out puzzles. So you got adventure mode and those custom maps, stuff like that. Minecraft can be played in so many different ways. It doesn't matter what you like and don't like. You're going to have something to play when you play Minecraft.
Yeah, that's pretty close to what I was what I had. That there's a lot of like diversity in the game. There's so many different communities. You got technical communities, mini game communities, anarchy, map makers. You got people like us who just play survival. There's so many different communities, and I think that's awesome. That there's a fit for everyone, probably.
Exactly. I 100% agree with that. I mean, when I first started playing in this, I was basically a creative mode only player. And then I got into the survival game by kind of being forced into it. Now I can't really play any other way.
Oh, nice. I started in survival, but I occasionally played like mini games and stuff, and I enjoy doing that. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Let's go to number 9. The challenge of the block shape. Everything's a block, which means you have to be creative when designing a circle and know how to count. As Ben can attest, I can't count circles to save my life in Minecraft, but I love to build in circles because of the challenge of the square.
Yeah, the challenge of making a circle look nice in the game is kind of awesome. It's a good feeling when it works out.
Yeah. So the challenge of designing something, I mean, with an architecture degree background, it's like, how can I make this block look good? That's not a block. So I really enjoy that. So I have that as number 9 on my list.
Again, that was a close one to what I had. I mean, I like the fact that it's a block game. You can make so many things just out of a block. And the challenge, like you said, like making a shape out of that block. But also it gives sort of, it evens the playing field between people who are, like, for example, really good painters or people who can't draw. Obviously, Minecraft is different, but it sort of evens out the playing field for the good ones between the bad ones.
Well,
which I think is awesome.
Until you get to those certain guys on like Reddit who do the crazy like angel sculptures out of like the blocks.
Yeah, there are a couple who are like beyond.
Yeah, get those guys tested. That's insane.
Yeah, but just the fact that you can do so much with the blocks, it's I don't know, it's awesome.
It really is. So, number 8, I put customized skins because it's something you can't do in a lot of games, is to create somebody who is a fit for you, who you go, hey, this is me in this game. Like, I personally am visualizing this guy when I play the game and stuff like that. Most of the time you got to play as somebody else or something some other game developer created. Like, you have to choose hairstyles that was created by some guy behind a desk, facial structures and stuff like that. In Minecraft, you can just go to the internet and paint yourself on this 3D model any way you want, and it's awesome.
I mean, there's people who made like stone skins, right? So they could hide in front of a stone, and upside down skins, and I like the fact that you can do that. Yeah,
I think it's really cool. More games should definitely bring that to the plate as common courtesy, as I'm going to say. Probably not the best phrase.
I mean, I can see how it would be. I can see how it would be hard for like other games. Obviously, like because it's blocky and low resolution, Minecraft has a great option.
Very true
for it.
But I mean, you look at Hytale, which is coming out. Even they don't have a custom skin generator. You still have to pick. I mean, there are thousands of options on their things, but you still have to pick pre-made model pieces to use.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Minecraft's definitely unique in that.
Number 7, freedom in building styles. So when you go to the creative side and you go to the survival side, the fact that you can, as long as you think it, you can basically make it. You can go modern and do a very clean, sleek build. You can do castles. You can do the giant 3D angel structures that we see. But yeah, the fact that nothing is off limits. You can build anything as long as you can imagine it in your head. And I really like that.
I mean, for some things it's really hard to do, but I mean, it can be done, and I agree. That's a really cool thing about Minecraft.
Yeah. Now this is where we start to differentiate, I think.
Well, the last one already. Did you want me to like put mine in between?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. For number 8, I had a different one. For me, it was not necessarily something in the game, but I like that Minecraft taught me to chill down a bit, I guess. I was also always like really efficient in games, like just pretty much straight to the point.
Yeah.
And there's no in Minecraft. There's no point doing that. And now I'm like, when I'm building, I'm just like, oh, I'm building this for building's sake, which I would have never done. And I really like that Minecraft sort of guided me into that.
I agree 100%. Because I used to be basically all about sports games and first-person shooters. So there was a huge competitive edge and constant like yelling at the monitors. And Minecraft, there's no point. It's just...
Yeah, there's no goal to work to, really, except for the goals you set for yourself.
Yeah. It's basically fulfill your imagination. That's the goal of Minecraft.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I really like about the game.
Yeah. What about your number 7? What do you have for that?
I like that Minecraft managed to sort of create an infinite randomness.
Yeah.
For worlds. Like, the seeds, the amount of seeds you can get are pretty much infinite. Like, there's no one person that can go through all of them. And then in those seeds, the worlds are so huge. There's so much that can be generated and things that you can discover. I think that's awesome.
I agree. I mean, there are websites dedicated just to Minecraft seeds.
Yeah. And there's, I mean, like, pretty much when you can think of it, it's gonna be in a seed somewhere, right? Because there's so many seeds.
Let's move on to number 6 for me. And this one kind of goes with number 10. I said games within the game. And I guess a lot of people would immediately think, well, mini games like Bed Wars and UHC and stuff like that. And you'd be right. But also think, like, if you're watching Hermitcraft this season, you had Grian's tag game and now their hot potato game. I mean, these are just stupid little games that you can do with relatively nothing. I mean, they used a name tag and a poisonous potato. 2 things that are relatively unused most of the game, especially the poisonous potato. And they created their own little mini game within the game to play while they're building and stuff. I think that kind of creativity is awesome. And it's all about Minecraft lending inspiration to do something like that.
Yeah, I agree. That's you found that one nicely. It's a really subtle like type of mini games. It's more like social interaction. It's almost the things you would encounter in like student homes, I guess, like where a couple of like college kids live together, and they would play those kinds of games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
What's your number 6?
My number 6. I like that there's a lot of different ways how you can transport yourself. You can fly with the Elytra, you can use boats, and then you can use boats on ice if you build a road for it. You can use a horse and a donkey, you can even ride a pig. And then all these transportation options, like, they all have its own, like, pros and cons.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool that they offer that much variation in just simple getting yourself from A to B.
I agree. And not to go off on a tangent like we normally do, But I read somewhere that you can use buttons like ice with boats now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so instead of putting...
Oh, that sounds
Yeah, so instead of putting ice down, you can put buttons down and glide across them like they're ice. Now, again...
I mean, that's obviously cheaper.
This was from a Reddit post, so I don't know if it's actually true, but that's cool.
I mean, I guess you recently saw that Reddit post?
Yeah, I saw it this week.
If it's true, videos will be popping up soon, I guess, on YouTube.
Well, I kind of have the feeling now that I remembered this, that I'm going to jump on the server afterwards and place a bunch of buttons down to see if it works.
Oh, yeah, that's... I mean, it sounds easy to try out. Was it really just buttons? Just... Okay.
I don't know if they had ice leading up to the buttons, and it just kind of continued the momentum, but it was buttons on netherrack from the video clip I saw.
Okay. I mean, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we get back to the topic?
So my number 5 is Mojang makes their own game and doesn't follow trends. And by this, I mean, the big thing that's going around right now in trends of video game is the Battle Royale. Minecraft started the Battle Royale with UHCs and stuff.
Yeah, that's actually kind of true.
Yeah, I mean, granted, there were Battle Royale games before Minecraft UHCs. But that's the first extremely popular one I can remember. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of went dormant. And then they had all these other Battle Royales. And they're like, well, Fortnite's the grandfather of Battle Royales. It's like, no. Minecraft was doing it way before. And to me, way better.
Well, and those were just kind of, again, like the games within the game, right? Which is...
Yeah, and then you...
Yeah, Mojang does what it wants, really. Yeah, and they go by their own
You look at the microtransaction and loot box trend that's happening in it. Minecraft doesn't have that. I mean, there are mods that have it, but that's not Mojang. Mojang's not doing that kind of stuff. They're not trying to implement tons of stuff like that. So, granted...
I think on the Windows edition and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You have things you can buy.
There is a store there. But to me, I think most of that stuff is like... third-party created stuff, like me and you would create stuff to put on the store or whatever. I don't think it's actually Mojang doing most of it, but I can't speak much for the Bedrock and Windows 10 version. Most of our stuff comes from Java because that's the version me and Bank play. So remember that before you go, well, DuDs is an idiot. He doesn't know about the Windows 10 store. It's like, yeah, I do, but I don't really think of it because we play Java. So most of everything we do is from the Java point of view. So don't bash me.
I think people should be fine with it, right?
What about you? What was your number 5?
I was gonna say I had a different point for number 5 again. I really like the villagers. Mm-hmm. They're they have an awesome mechanic. They're like shops, but you can also make them work, and then they sort of, especially now since that update, they sort of live in their village and do all kinds of things. I think that's awesome. You don't see that often in games with like sandbox.
Yeah, so villagers I had on my list. So when I made this list, I had like 20 items on the list, and then I just chose 10 that I thought were the best. Villagers were on the original list, but I hadn't at the time played with them much since the update. Well, basically all day today, I've played with villagers, and I agree. The 1.14 villagers are such a huge improvement. I love it.
Yeah, they make the game, they add such an extra dynamic feature to it.
Though I would say Tango Tech's Villager mod, that's really cool too. And I wouldn't be upset if Mojang said, hey, Tango, could we steal some code and use it in the game? Because, seeing a villager walk around chopping down trees or guarding an area would be really cool.
Yeah, that would make it even better.
But the way they are now, I agree 100%. I really like the 1.14 villagers.
I mean, even the old ones. I liked that system. Like, the basic of it, right? They're shops. You can make them do some work.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Though the wheat farming, bit of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I got a wheat farm now, but I haven't really figured out how to easily do it still.
I mean, villagers do not need that much bread. That's all I'm going to say. That's a lot of carbs. Why are these villagers not so fat?
It's Minecraft.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can lift so much gold, you couldn't do that in real life.
Don't tell me what I can't do, Bank. I'll pull another groin muscle if I have to. Okay. Enough about groin. Back to number 4. You can customize everything. You can customize the terrain, the textures, the crafting recipes, your skin, going back to number 8. Everything you see in the game, you can change to make it your own. And that is super awesome.
Well, and it seems like they're working towards making that easier as well. Mm-hmm. Like, what was it? 1.12? I'm saying carefully. They added like loot tables, right?
Yep.
Which made it so much easier to customize what dropped from a mob and all that. I think changing mobs is getting easier with the data packs and all that. You can do a lot of cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It really is a game where you can completely personalize the game.
The only thing I will say is that I think terrain customization has taken a step back with these last updates. Because remember, me and you sat down for hours coming up with code to do a custom terrain for our Comicraft world.
Well, you had those sliders and stuff, right? And I remember that. They did take a little step back in that.
Implement that back, and I will be 100% okay with it.
Well, I seem to remember you mentioned once that they were working on that, but they just took it out for a little bit while they were working on it or something.
Yeah, I want to say I remember reading that it was supposed to be back for 1.13. Like one of the later 1.13 updates. Then that got like pushed under the rug and nobody's talked about it since. Mm-hmm. And now we have these biome updates that aren't getting update for like 2 years. So I kind of think the custom terrain generation thing is going to get pushed back even further now.
I mean, maybe they ran into some issues and just are working it out in the background. And they were like, well, we still got to continue upgrading the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a tricky thing, getting the terrain generation down.
Mm-hmm. But what about you? What's your number 4?
I like that. I mean, they got some different crafting systems, I guess. You got crafting, brewing, and enchanting. Mm-hmm. And I like how they made it all their own system. Like, if you take a look at Skyrim, for example, like the brewing and the enchanting and the crafting, it's all kind of the same thing. You just select some items in the menu and then click OK. Mm-hmm. And here it really is their own sort of system, which I really like. I like that they put the effort into that.
I agree, because it lends really well to my top 3 things, but I won't skip ahead yet. But yeah, the fact that you have a brew stand you have to use, and you have all these different farms to get supplies for just brewing. You create farms for enchanting, like the Enderman farm and Blaze farm and stuff, grinders like that. Is their own little thing. And crafting itself, there's so many different ways to craft, except I think now with the crafting book, I didn't like the crafting book when I saw it. And
I almost put it in the list here.
Well, we had the crafting book when I started on PS4. That's where I started to play Minecraft, and then I came to Java.
Okay.
And it didn't have the crafting book, which made me extremely mad because I was constantly on Craftopedia or whatever the Minecraft wiki is, looking up recipes and stuff, and I hated it. And then a year later, I'm knowing recipes off the top of my head like it's nothing. And you'd always get the people on the server like, hey, what's the recipe for this? And you'd say, so it would give yourself some communication to the other people, which I really liked then. So I went from hating not having the crafting book to loving the fact that it wasn't there. And then now that we have the crafting book back, I love/hate it because, one, I can flip through recipes like it's nothing. I can make blocks fast. And that is great when you're doing like iron blocks and stuff like that, making fences and stuff. The downfall is I don't remember recipes to save my life now. The other day I went, what is in a comparator? It's like, I make comparators all the time. Why can't I remember what's in a comparator?
See, I really like the crafting book because you got all the recipes. Like, you don't have to really remember them. Also, it's sort of it's a list of what blocks you can have in the game, and that helps me during building. It's just a great way to get some inspiration. You open the crafting book, and just scroll through blocks and just look at the blocks. But I really like the point you made. Like, before you would know the recipes, and it would create, like, chat on the server, like, hey, how do you make this? And you get something to answer.
Yeah.
And they sort of removed that by getting the crafting book. I didn't notice it, because for me, I just started, I always played on the PC, always Java. So I just went from having no crafting book to having one, which was amazing. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I think the good of the crafting book definitely outweighs the bad. I don't want to put down the crafting book at all. If they were to take it away today, I'd be like, Moyang, why?
Yeah, it's a convenient thing.
It really is. Okay, so we're on number 3 now, right?
Yeah.
My number 3 was Redstone. All the stuff.
I mean, obviously.
I know people would put Redstone a lot higher on their list, but I think I've got 2 good things above it. But Redstone is what keeps me playing this game. Building, I can get very bored at. Creating a new farm or automated machine, I can never get bored with that in Minecraft. It's to the point now where I'll watch a tutorial on a farm, and if the farm isn't that complicated, I'm trying to build my own. And that's what happened with my XP machine. I think I spent 3 episodes working on that thing, plus several live streams, because I didn't really look up a tutorial on how to build it. I just said, okay, I want to use bamboo and I want to use cactus. I did a little bit of quick math. I said, okay, this is how much I need for each. Way off. I can't count. So, yeah, Redstone in general, the thousands of years. I saw Mumbo Jumbo build a house that walked like a spider this week. What?
I know.
What? The amount of stupid stuff you can do with Redstone's amazing, and I love it.
I mean, I fully agree with you. When I first started playing Minecraft, or when I first realized I played it for a while already. I was like, yeah, it's Redstone. Like, there's so many survival games out there. I've played so many of them as well, and they couldn't keep me playing it.
Right.
And Minecraft has Redstone, which there's almost an infinite amount of options in it. Like, it's Redstone itself is quite old already. Like, it's 6 years old maybe. I'm not sure.
Clue.
And they're still discovering things.
Yeah, like,
it's ridiculous.
The last major Redstone component they added to the game was the Observer, and it's not I won't say huge advancement to Redstone. It's a very good advancement to Redstone, but for the most part, for the last couple of years, Redstone has stayed the same, and they're still figuring out ways to push Redstone limits.
And then they added honey blocks. Completely broke Redstone again, which is, again, like a whole new set of things that are gonna happen.
It's not even Redstone.
Just Redstone.
It's a honey block.
I mean, it sort of is.
And it...
Yeah, I know, right?
It breaks Redstone. Well, I shouldn't say break Redstone. It is the next evolutionary step in Redstone.
Well, that's another thing I thought of, but I hadn't put it on the list, but I'm just gonna mention it now.
Go for it.
I mean, it sort of links to it, but the fact that you got things like slime blocks and honey blocks that affect redstone mechanics, and the fact that there's like little, I don't know, I would almost say unexpected things that happen in the game that I don't think even like Mojang anticipated would happen. Like, I think bud powered stuff that's redstone specifically it happened. There's a lot of weird things you can do with books.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's not even to mention.
If you delve deeper into it.
You have the lectern, which is not a redstone block, but does redstone. You have a cauldron that's not a redstone block, but works redstone. You have glazed terracotta that is affected by slime blocks differently than other blocks. Same with obsidian and furnaces. Water. I mean, lava. When you put lava in water with the observer, does that still do the random tick? I can't remember if they got rid of that or not.
I'm
But
not
for a
sure.
while, yeah, you have an observer watching lava and water, and you get a random tick go off. So, I mean, these are non-redstone items that are pushing the evolutionary step of redstone, and at the same time, they're not adding redstone to the game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're still discovering new things. Like, the more time they get, the more they'll discover.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to be an end to it.
No, it really doesn't. So, I mean, the day they come out with, like, bluestone, I mean, heads will explode.
It was a good joke, but I'd still love to see it happen.
I'm the same way. Both my monitors just decided to shut off for some reason.
Oh, did they go on? Did you just not touch your PC in a while and it went to sleep?
Basically. I forgot to move my mouse every once in a while.
All right.
All right, but I see your number 3, and I think the way you have to say it exactly how you wrote it because it's hilarious.
Yeah, I like ender chests.
Why do you like ender chest, Bank?
I mean, I'm not really sure how to put it into words, but they're sort of. Well, you said it. They're sort of a safe, which I think is one of the best words to describe it. But you got like a personal safe, which you can easily move around. It's such a convenient thing, and it's unlike anything I've really seen. I think. Well, in some games you have a chest that's sort of one chest, and you can open it at places. But I don't know. Ender chests are great.
I agree. I didn't really think about ender chests when doing my top 10 list. If I did, they probably would have made top 10. But the ender chests, they changed the game really, especially when you combine them with shulker boxes.
Yeah. I mean, even without shulker boxes, the ender chest was still great. Like, the game would be so much harder. Well, not harder, but things would get so much more tedious if you wouldn't have that.
I agree. 100%. I'm saying that a lot this episode. So if you guys are getting annoyed with me saying that, just be like, Dud, shut up.
They'll start making like memes and stuff.
It's just my skin holding up like a fist that says 100%.
100% Duds.
What is it? Instead of Omni's seal of approval, it's 100% approved by Duds.
I wouldn't talk about this too much because weird things are gonna happen.
Yeah, probably. Alright, so should we move on to the next item?
I think that's a good idea.
So my number 2 item was the multiplayer experience. Doesn't matter what game mode you're playing on, it's just the fact that you're gonna be playing with a friend. And I say that because I probably have more friends on Minecraft than I do in real life. Just from this one game. And that's not saying I have no friends in real life. It's just, as bad as that really sounds, it's just that I have time to play Minecraft more so than, like, I've got friends who have families and they're constantly busy, so I only see them 1 to 2 times a month, really, if I'm lucky. But Bank, I hang out with you like 4 times a week on the game.
Yeah. So,
I mean, stuff like that's crazy. You're teaching me Dutch, for heaven's sakes, because of Minecraft.
I know, right?
Heeft verlaten.
I mean, I've asked you like electronic stuff as well. Like, hey, how does this
Yeah.
work?
I mean,
yeah.
You don't get that with a lot of other games. If I'm playing Battlefield, I'm not learning Dutch playing Battlefield unless it's, how do I say I'm going to blow your head off in Dutch? I mean, you just don't do that. You ain't got the time for that. Minecraft is such a chill game. You're just hanging out and talking and building. It's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're doing this because of that.
We really are. I mean, I think I said it as a joke of, I'm going to do a Minecraft podcast. And then I kept getting bugged about, hey, when you starting the podcast? And it's like, okay, when I come up with a name. And sure enough, me and you were...
Yeah, and then we started thinking of a name.
Me and you were on stream and the name The Withering Effect came out. And it's like, well, crap, I guess we have a podcast to start recording.
And then we recorded once, and
here we are,
stuff
22 weeks later.
I know, right? That's nearly half a year.
You guys are crazy for listening to us this long.
Well, I mean, it's awesome that they do.
Oh, yeah, but still crazy. This is where 100% approved by DuDs comes out.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, okay, so what's your number 2?
I really like that Minecraft has a lot of, like, small gimmicky things that are kind of
Okay.
useless in a way. Like, the chorus plant, when you eat it, it teleports you a little bit. The parrots imitating sounds. You got fireworks. You got music discs. Like, they're just... Why are they there? There's no reason besides just to have a little fun.
Oh,
which I think is awesome.
We talked about this last episode, the parrots not doing certain sounds anymore.
Yeah.
I finally saw why they don't do it.
Oh, why is it?
So, not doing a polar bear, an enderman, or a pigman is because those are neutral mobs.
Mm-hmm.
They're no longer going to do neutral mob sounds. Which doesn't make sense to me at all, because they still do, like, wolf sounds and cats and stuff like that. And those are friendly mobs, I would assume. It's like, I don't get it, but...
So I guess they will still do sheep and cows as well?
That's what I'm assuming, but it's because they're neutral mobs, which, again, I don't understand and get, but that was the reasoning behind it. Because I remember saying, if anyone knows the reason, tell me. And then I saw it on Exuma's video, so I figured I'd bring it up in the podcast.
I'm not fully understanding why they do it, but sure.
Yeah. Anyways, back to your stuff. Yeah, chorus plants teleporting around is goofy and could be fun.
Yeah, it's just the fact that they put effort into doing those kinds of things that I like them.
Mm-hmm. I kind of want to build a minigame around eating chorus plants now.
Ooh, you could do.
Imagine a maze that the only way you can get around in is by eating the chorus plant and teleporting.
I once actually used the chorus plant useful, but pearls kind of do work better. But if you're on a high edge, like with a steep cliff, and you stand like you hover over like when you're almost hovering in the sky when you just press shift and you walk all the way to the edge, and then eat a chorus fruit, you have a chance you get teleported all the way to the bottom. So it's a way to like travel safely down a large drop, basically.
I would say that's good for like UHC stuff, but I don't think anyone goes to the end on UHCs. So
I think they have done, but yeah, that doesn't sound like a smart idea.
No, especially if you have to fight the dragon as soon as you get to the end.
Yeah, there's nothing really to get.
Yeah,
right?
but
I mean, ender pearls, I guess.
Yeah, the gimmicky stuff's kind of really cool. I'm trying to think of anything else that could be like that.
Riding a pig.
Yeah.
I mean, I said before that you got a lot of transportation options and that they're all sort of equal, but I mean, a pig's just gimmicky. And the fact that you have a rod with a carrot.
Well, and you get that achievement when pigs fly.
Things, right. Yeah.
So
is that still a thing?
I don't know if it is or
Since
not.
they changed the advancements?
They might have frowned on the making a pig walk off a cliff thing.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Animal cruelty and stuff.
Yep. But I think our number ones line up.
Yeah, they do. A little bit. Yeah, they kind of line up.
So, my number one was constant updates for free. Meaning, once you buy the game, you have the game. Whenever Mojang puts out anything for the game, you have that update. You don't have to constantly pay $5 here or $20 there. Or like some of these games got to the point where you're paying $60 for the game, and then 3 months later, $60 for an update, and then 3 months after that, $60 for another update. You have the game.
Or you have like monthly subscriptions.
It's like once you buy the game, you're in for life. And that's awesome.
Well, and on top of that, like you said, like a lot of games, like a new game, usually around $60 in euros. I mean, those prices are similar. I don't know about other currencies. But, I mean, Mojang, what Minecraft's like 20, 25? It's a relatively cheap game as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I have multiple Minecraft accounts. It's because it's such a cheap game. And I don't have to worry about buying another copy a couple months down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, they just keep bringing out stuff. They constantly update it. And you get new stuff, and it's all for free. They just keep developing.
Yeah, I mean, you look at 113 and 114 by themselves. Those were huge updates to this game. Granted, both of them pretty much broke the game for the first 2 months of coming out when they updated. But...
yeah.
But, going to a coral reef in an ocean biome nowadays, my jaw drops. It's so pretty.
Yeah, I just like being on a boat and going over the ocean altogether, but it really gets fun when you get to a coral reef.
And that was a free update. You don't get that other places. I want to say Fallout 76 was charging you like $20 to change the color of your armor to like blue. It's $20 to change something to blue. Really? I know that's one reason I quit playing Destiny. I loved Destiny. It was finally a cool game that was a shooter that didn't extremely focus on PvP all the time, so you could get with a bunch of friends and go do random shoot 'em ups with monsters and stuff like that. But you want to change the color of that armor? $5.99. What? No. Like, if it's in the game, it should be in the game. I shouldn't have to buy more.
I mean, I feel the same with all these DLC that you usually have to buy and stuff. It's like, just make an update. It's an update for the game. Yeah. Give it.
Well, the only DLC that I always would buy on a consistent basis was the Battlefield DLC. And that's because I knew that game only came out once every 2 years. So if you were to buy the DLC, that DLC was guaranteeing you content for 2 years. And I saw it as I paid $60 for basically 1 year of content and then another $60 for a second year of content. And I was okay with it. That's how I justified it. Of course, Battlefield 5, this last one, you pay nothing for the DLC anymore. So $60 gives you 2 years of DLC content. The only problem is I don't like the game. So...
that's a bit of a downside.
Well, I'm sick and tired of historical warfare. I don't know why they chose World War II after doing World War I. Because that basically means 4 straight years of historical war.
I'm curious, would they ever go like medieval?
I kind of doubt it.
Roman Empire times and stuff.
I'm also really hoping they don't go futuristic. I don't think futuristic warfare is any fun.
Well, they did the Star Wars one.
Yeah.
Right?
That sucked too.
Oh, I heard people being quite positive. I never played it myself.
The first Battlefront was an okay one. And granted, there were Battlefronts before DICE, the creator of Battlefield, took over. And the first one was good. It was just lacking some content. And then they came up with the second one that was supposed to be more in depth and everything like that. And it was. But it was put behind paywalls. Oh. And supposedly this wasn't DICE's call. This was EA being EA, saying, hey, pay us a ton of money for this game. And it got a ton of backlash, got thrown through the ringer to the point where basically EA said, okay, we're washing our hands of this. We're giving the game fully to DICE and let them do what they do. And since then, DICE has really changed it and turned it around. And it's supposedly a top-rated game now. But I'm one of those, my trust was broken, so I won't go back and play it.
I get that feeling.
So, even though I love DICE and I love the Battlefield series, but even Battlefield 5, I think I played for about a month and went, no, and just put it away.
I didn't even pay attention to Battlefield 5 anymore. I didn't realize it existed.
Yeah. Battlefield 6, hurry up and get here so I can get back to shooting people. But yeah.
Considering we kind of stopped talking about Minecraft, shall we end the show?
That's what I was going with.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So if you like the show, you can share it with all your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, please follow us. Or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. Doing these things really helps us reach more listeners. If you'd like to get into contact with the show, send an email to podcast@rippleeffectsmp.com. Tweet us, or like I said before, Discord. That's the best way to talk to us and talk with fellow Withering Effect members. Links will be in the show notes.
Yeah, this show has been brought to you by Bank and myself, but also our digital producer, Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up where it's supposed to and not on some random top 10 list on YouTube. The amazing music you hear in the intro and outro is created by the one and only Decoy. Both their social media info can be found in the show notes. And like always, guys, you have been awesome. 22 episodes. Holy cow. Thank you for being here for all of it. And thanks for getting withered with us. Go drink your milk. See ya.
See ya later.